Hello and welcome to round 4 of the Revolution Cup. It's the race from Catalunya GP, and unfortunately the intro didn't work as expected, so I'm introducing my colleague King Kodiak right away. Hello King Kodiak, nice to be here again with you.
It's a great pleasure to be back in the box with you, Wayfarer. Indeed, hello to all those that are in the stream and to those catching up to the race afterwards. Good after morning, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. We are indeed here at the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona to see how this round ends. We have got 16 drivers ready to take to the field.
Yeah, it will be great racing tonight, although we have a few people missing. Very special to mention who is missing. Points leader Puff Pirate is unfortunately missing tonight. He's on vacation. So, yeah, good thing that now with the new season, people have one strike result, so one weekend they can, yeah, kind of throw away and it doesn't count towards the points, so it's not hurting him too much.
Indeed. So, exactly as Wayfarer says, he will drop that particular, or this particular result, unless of course he has another DNF. But the way Pirate's performance has been, it's fairly unlikely. We're starting to see some times come on the board now. Alex Salmon, who has had some disastrous luck, certainly with his connection. Wow, that was determined, throwing that into turn 4. But yeah, he's qualified 4th. For several races in a row and been binned by his connection several times. He currently sits in 9th in the points table at present on, just see, that's 79 points, so hopefully he will be able to improve. And Unstopper Paul getting a 140.5. Now this is done at 9 AM in the morning. Trackside temperature is not going to be too high, so they are going to have to be a little bit careful on how they get the heat into their tyres. Now we're starting to see some representative laps coming. 125.8. Of course, everybody is coming out, done a banker lap, so to speak, so they've got something on the board. Now we're starting to see some fast laps come in. Fab Iceman currently sits. Where does Fab Iceman? Because his season hasn't gone too well. I can't even see him on the. Oh, there he is. He's 19th. Yeah,
he's had far back. We were expecting quite a lot from Fab Iceman after a very good last season where he was a rookie, but yeah, he had a lot of bad luck. Then maybe also he didn't.
Whoa!
That was somebody going very straight.
That was Alex Salmon going very cannonballing off the road. Project PD, he's had a pretty good. He's, with the exception of one result at Brno, the second race at Brno, where his race just completely unravelled and got worse. He's been on the podium in every single race, and he won the sprint race in Brno, has been second 4 times. So the chief challenger to Puff Pirate, he's only 11 points behind. He's second in the championship on 160, so he's looking to really capitalise on the fact that Puff Pirate is not here. Fab Iceman still holding the top spot. Unstopper Paul in 3rd. He's not had a brilliant season, but it started badly, but has started to get better. 19, 10, 10, 9, 5 and 7 has been his results. He currently sits in 8th position on 81. There's Alex Salmon in that dreaded 4th position that I mentioned earlier. Every time he's disconnected, he's been qualified in 4th. So hopefully that doesn't bite him again. As we have less than 5 minutes to go. Let's see who else we can find. Oh, just as I went to... Night Tiger has jumped up to 3rd. Now, where's Night Tiger? He currently sits 13th. He's missed a couple of rounds, so that, of course, will hurt his points tally. But a good qualifying for him. Oh, Diluvian has just jumped up to 4th. Diluvian's in 6th. He's been on the podium a couple of times. He missed Burno, so that will, of course, hurt the points. Taoju's now jumped up to 4th. That 126.8. Taoju is in 16th. So he missed Nürburgring and failed to finish the first round of Laguna. So that, again, has hurt the points tally. But that is a decent start. So everybody except for Battenberg has got a time on the board. Is Battenberg out there? Yep, Battenberg in the Panasonic car is out there to get a time on the board. So, yep, in the last 4 minutes, we should start to see the times come crashing down.
Yeah, now I think now nearly everybody has his first round of, or his first stint of laps done, and it looks currently pretty good for Fab Iceman. On provisional pole, only 0.05 of a second in front of Project P. Now as we are on board with him, coming out of the wonderful turn 3, now into turn 4. Very nice flowing corners on this track. But this will be pretty difficult, I think, in the race with people fighting with dirty air here. Especially for a lot of mid-speed corners, where aerodynamics is already very important now for that. To gain into one of the... Yeah, here you have to really brave through Camposa. Now coming down the back straight with DRS, of course, open into probably the best overtaking spot, turn 10, also known as La Caixa. We take the short layout, the Formula 1 layout. The MotoGP used to go the long way around. Now into that tight arena section. Into the final chicane that was, yeah, built, I think it's nearly 15 years ago. For the Formula cars because they got too fast in the final turn. Now for the final turn and a little bit sideways there. That's definitely costing a little bit of time, but let's see if that's improvement. And yeah, still an improvement.
Yeah, you definitely would have lost a couple of tenths there if Iceman just caught that inside apex, which unsettled the car. It just raises the right wheels a little bit too much, and he will lose traction, but he did gain another 4 tenths. Project PD was only a few hundredths behind before that time came in. Unstoppable Paul, it's still in 3rd. He's looking to cross the line. Will he improve? 1:26.258. His previous time, DRS open, sprinting down the line. The line is quite a way down, and so he's just started a hot lap. Night Tiger is 4th, coming through turn 9. Wow, that's a long way off. Got to be careful doing that. Will invalidate your lap. Alex Salmon is in the pits. Is he coming out? No, he looks settled there in 5th position. Taoju is coming down towards turn... Where is he? That's 6. I think 6, 7 and 8, and then up to 9.
Yeah, exactly. But to come back again to the story of the last corner, there is a very nasty bump. Right, where you are starting to accelerate for the start-finish straight, so I think Fab Iceman probably hits that right when he hammered on the throttle, so maybe that unsettled also his car. But yeah, Diluvian taking the MotoGP layout. That's unfortunately not the fast way around with all those tires. But yeah, it's probably now on his way to his fast lap. And we still have 1 minute left, so everybody who is now crossing start-finish line will now have his final lap.
Indeed, Cataclymps, Alex Salmon, Ashnoon and Tim are all in, so they will not be able to set another lap. That is someone crossing the line. It's one of the Panasonic cars. And that was Battenberg. He just jumped up to 11 there with that 1:27.5. He's jumped back to the pits. His day is done. There's Eladir. We saw a bit of him in Laguna Seca. Ooh, and again got very twitchy on the exit of turn 10. Now coming through and 11 and 12. It's very bumpy, a little bit off as well. That 180-degree right-hander. Now 13. Again, got to keep the car set. A little bit of a lock up there before he comes through 14.15. Now the long right-hander. Got to stay close to, but not hit that apex. We saw Fab Iceman get unsettled down there. Does Aladir improve? Answer is he did, up to 9th, 127.119. Fab Iceman's back in the pits. He will not improve. Where is Project PD? Just coming across the line. Does he improve? He does, but not enough to take that pole spot. Unstoppable Paul. Let's see if he's on a lap. Through turn 9 himself. Very easy to wander wide. Oh, just about kept it on the wide lines. Night Tigers just jumped up to third, 126.120. Very nicely done on the D-Box car. Ooh, and that's again, it's so bumpy down there at turn 10 that it's very easy to wander a little bit wide. You saw the tail just slide there on Stopper Paul's car. Through 13, down to 14, 15 once again. Keep it settled and just about keeps it on the lines. He's really exploring the limits of the track. Through 16, through the final turn. Does he improve? Answer, he does. 126.041 jumps up to third. Displaces Night Tiger from that position. Tauju is on a slow lap. Eladir is still going. He's coming up to 13. Let's follow him through in the Sheriff. It's a car. Does he improve? 127.119, only 5 thousandths behind Cobbersnell's just jumped up to 11th, 127.448. Does Eladir improve? Answer is DRS Open sprinted to the line. He did. 7th with a 126.594. Nicely done. Bit of a mixture of times top to bottom, but some very nice performances.
Yeah, and I have to admit I'm really surprised by Unstoppable being on third. That's very nice to see. I mean, this week Stu isn't here, his teammate, so I don't know if he helped him with the setup or anything. But yeah, very nice to see to see some new faces up front. Especially they are now capitalizing off some major heavy hitters like Manu and Puff Barrett not being here tonight. Also Stu and Murphy. So a lot of front runners are unfortunately missing, but I still think we are going to see great racing, seeing those times now.
Absolutely. So it's 3.5 cents separates Fab Iceman and Project PD. So Fab Iceman really looking to regain some very lost momentum, but Project PD has been right there challenging Puff Pirate for those wins. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. We are lacking quite a few people. Unfortunately, Murphy, who won the first pair of races, is not with us. Let's see. Manu is exactly as you mentioned. Miyagi is. I thought we'd lost Miyagi for a second. No, he's down there in 13th. Let's have a quick rundown then from top to bottom. Fab Iceman and Project PD are on our front row. Let's actually change camera because otherwise I guess a little disorientating. Unstoppable Paul 3, Night Tiger 4, Tauju 5. Alex Salmon has made it to the grid for the sprint race, which is something he hasn't been able to do for the last couple of times. Eladir 7, Diluvian 8, Gosku in 9th. Didn't see him set that up. Cataclysm in 10th. Cobbersnell 11, Battenberg 12, Miyagi 13, Ashley 14, Drux in 15, and Tim rounds out the field in the D'Ambreville.
Yeah, the grid looks good, so the race is about to start any second now, hopefully.
13 lap sprint race then, so this period is just a 2-minute quick break for our drivers. They get to make any setup changes they wish to do, think about their strategies, etc. There's no mandatory pit stop for this race. So, we're still at kind of around about 9 o'clock in the morning. Qualifying obviously happened track just before this, as far as the actual track time is concerned. So it's still fairly early. I think it's either 9 or 10 a.m. that they're running here. So it's a 13-lap sprint race from a standing start. No mandatory pit stop required. It is just going to be all down to the lights. Here we go then. Wind them up and let them go, and away they are. Then there's the Sheriff. It's a Caravelli jumping into the middle. A decent start by Fab Iceman, but once again the king of the starts is Project PD. He's jumped into the lead, but oh wow, that's Alex Salmon. He's gone up to third. What a great start from him from 5th. Has jumped 2 positions already. Night Tiger in 4th. Unstoppable Paul has fallen to 6th position. Actually, a terrible start for him from the front row. Wow, that's someone wondering a bit why Fab Iceman's gone back into the lead in the Tesla car.
Oh no, flipping cars.
Massive trouble there. That's I'm trying to click on who it is that's in trouble, and they keep moving. It's Unstoppable Paul. Oh no,
and I think it was Night Tiger, yeah.
Oh, and the D-Bots car, he's in great trouble. The second one of Cobblestone is still going. It was Night Tiger and Unstopper Paul that came to grief. So those two are going to have to crawl back to the pits to get their cars back going again. But back up front, Fab Iceman back in the lead. And look at that, the top three have completely broken away. If you bring up the map, you'll see the gap for yourself. There it is, the top three absolutely miles away from Eladir. So it's Fab Iceman, Project PD and Alex Salmon, 1, 2 and 3 at the moment. There's Eladir at the front of essentially the rest of the field. Oops, that was Diluvian. I think I was just wandering a little bit too wide on the exit of turn 10. Wow, what a start for most. But Unstoppable after such a great qualifying. And it's a shame that it's gone the way it has for him.
Yeah, really a shame, but yeah, you can definitely see that that sort of crash pile up at the end of turn 3 really slowed the guys behind down, and they just lost touch with the top 3 guys. But yeah, very scary crash, to be honest. Flipping cars, never nice to see, and unfortunately we have also seen yesterday quite a big crash, so good thing that people don't get hurt in here. But
yes, absolutely. Tauju didn't escape unharmed either. He's come into the pits. And, oh, that's a very bouncy camera. Let's keep an eye on our front three then as they continue to battle. Fab Iceman is about 8 tenths ahead of Project PD. Alex Salmon falling a little bit off the back of these two. In third then, just over a second, and we've lost one. We have actually lost one. It's not one of our 3 pitters actually, so I don't know who it is we've lost. Oh, that's another one gone. That's 2 people we have lost in this race. So that is exceedingly unfortunate. I'm trying to look through the list to see who it is we've lost. I'm not usually very good at trying to identify.
Yeah, I'm trying to identify them, but I have to say him also. I think we lost Tim. Yeah, Tim, also known as
Tim's
Fantastic. And the second one was... Yeah, I also have no idea. Sorry.
But I'll keep looking through the... Unstopper Paul's still going. Yeah, I'm just basically looking through the list to see who I can recognise is missing Cat. Oh no, Cataclysm is 5th. Night Tigers. Oh no, Night Tigers only 13th. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out as we go on later. Ashnoom has come in.
Yeah, Ashnoom in the pits, also probably due to damage.
Battenberg's in a decent battle here with Gosku and Miyagi. Miyagi, a guest driver for this season. And Gosku just ahead, as you can see. Unstoppable and Night Tiger having their battle at the tail of the field. The top 6 or 7 or top 6 or 7 kind of spread out now, which is quite interesting. I mean, you don't expect to see such a spread in the sprint race, but it can happen, of course. Battenberg is really hounding Gosku for that 8th position. If we look up front, there is Iceman. I haven't broken away too much from Project PD, to be fair. It kind of is around about the 2nd mark. Alex Salmon is really struggling. He's not able to keep up with the top 2. He's had a great start, but he's not able to keep the momentum going, it seems. We've seen there is Eladir. He's certainly broken away from the pack. Cataclysm is just with him. There's Diluvian.
I talked to Alex Salmon before the race, and he was telling me that he was fearing problems with his tires, that he might have extremely overheating tires, and I think we might see that already with him struggling here.
Could well be. Drux is someone we've lost. We have lost Drux from this session. And I'm trying to identify who the other... We've lost 2.
Yeah, we lost Tim also. So Tim and Drux.
Oh, Tim, yes, yeah, we said that as well. So there we go, there's our 2 that we have lost. And look at that, Salmon is really falling into the clutches of... It's Eladir, I think. The camera's a little lost there. That's the view from Eladir. That's what threw me off. That's actually a back marker that's in between. Was that Ashlim? Yeah. That's what threw me off, though. I thought Alex Hamill was falling into the clutches of someone. That's actually Ashlim, who's just been lapped. Cobra Snell's just brought his car in as well. Oh, he's lost his front wing. I don't see a front wing on his car, so that's going to bring pretty much an end to his day. Quite a few incidents going on. Back up to the front, though. Project PT hanging on to the back of Fab Iceman. So once again, Project PD really getting to grips His starts are just unbelievable. In all but one race I've seen Project PD in so far, he has absolutely flown through and into the lead. Ironically, the one he didn't do that on was the bad race for him in Bernau, where he ended up being 15th. So his starts do seem to be his absolute strong point, to get to the front of the pack and avoid the issues that go on. And he's really keeping the Team Tesbo car of Fab Iceman under pressure, but at the moment, not a particular answer to him. It doesn't look like the Fab Iceman's just got enough pace to keep him behind. And looking at the lap times, yeah, Fab Iceman in the 127s, just a couple of tenths quicker than Project PD.
I mean, Project PT is maybe, I mean, we are already at the halfway point of the season, so maybe PT is already a little bit thinking of the big picture and saying Fab Iceman is currently, unfortunately, in the middle of nowhere in the championship, and he doesn't have to. I mean, it would be definitely good if he makes those extra points, but he doesn't have to at the moment. Maybe he's just chilling and waiting and seeing what Fab Iceman in front of him does, and maybe we can expect an attack at the end, or maybe he's driving with a little brain and he just says, P2, good enough, Puffy is not here, let's take the points, don't take any unnecessary risk, and yeah, go home with the points.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be a very wise decision for him to do so. Catalunya being a very, very difficult track, so it would be very easy to sort of make a mistake and throw away a very, very strong position. We see Battenberg here still battling Gosku. That is for 8th, as previously mentioned. Kaczykins is still on the back of Elliger as well, so both Team Tesbo cars in a battle. Fab Iceman leading the way. Kaczykins in a pretty strong position. And Elliger looks like he's going to be under pressure from Kaczykins on board then with the Team Tesbo second car, streaming on down to turn 1. Of nowhere near the Sheriff into car to make something about it. Oh wow, the tail of that car from Elliger is in all kinds of trouble, but the Kaczykins could not use it. Oh, was Antiluvian in trouble? Yeah. Yes, it was. I thought I saw tyre smoke there. He's overcooked it coming through turn 2. He's caught it. It looks like he's kept it out of the wall, but he has lost that 6th position to Miyagi. He's not in an unmarked car this time. Oh, the cameraman's lost. That's one of the Lorigo cars. So looks like Miyagi may well have replaced someone in that particular team. Last time he was in the plain white car. So Diluvian has now some company there. He's going to chase that for that 6th position. But, oh, wow, that is close. Again, on board with Kaczykins. You can see how close they are. I mean, that's what it is from the nose. Oops, Kaczykins was a little bit wide there. Moving on down towards turn 10. Is he going to think about it? No, a little bit too far back for that. But again, it looks like Elliger is just not able to quite keep the car as balanced and planted as we saw from previous races. I mean, Elliger is 4th in the championship at the moment with 7-7, 5-4, 18 and 9 being his results. Kaczykins could really do with a decent result. His previous best was 6th in the first race at Laguna Seca. There has been a steadily improving season for Kaczykins, in fairness. A pair of 14th, an 8th, and 7th, and 6th. Sadly didn't finish in the feature race of Laguna. So he's in a really strong position here, and it looks like he has got the pace of the Sheriff is a car at the moment. Oh, Diluvian's had another problem. He's fallen behind Battenberg and Gosku. Is that Night Tiger? No, that's not Night Tiger. They're already behind. That'll be Ashton. It'll be oh no, big one. It must be Cobus now. Yes. Yeah. Getting my people muddled up again. So yeah, Diluvian has had another problem in that Renault Sport car. Oh, it's slightly. Oh, he's really struggling. Look, he's not brought the car in. Maybe he's got damage on the car and he's just kind of bringing it home instead of taking it into the pits. Well, the amount of people that have pitted, basically everybody behind him have pitted. And that's lost again. So he would still be in 9th position, I would imagine. Night Tiger down to Cobus now, 10th to 14th, have already been through the pits once so far this race, but they are quite spread out. Oh, that's Five Iceman's lost a bit of time to Project PD, and they were within a 10th of one another last time around, 27.6, both of them over the line. Actually, Project PD was about 600ths quicker than Fab Iceman last time around. Let's see what the lap times are going to be this time, because Fab Iceman's definitely lost about 7/10. Yeah, 28.2 and 27.3. What a stunning lap there from Project PD. So yeah, he's gained nearly 9/10 in that one lap alone. So Fab Iceman must have made a mistake. But exactly as you say, Wayfarer, the Project PD will know he doesn't have to do anything silly, but he will press on nonetheless if anything else, it'll give him kind of a sighter for how to set the car up or how to push the car properly for the feature race.
Yeah, and maybe he's just thinking a little bit of pressure. Maybe he can still move Fab Iceman into a little bit of mistake and can take advantage of that without having to take too much risk himself. But yeah, currently it definitely looks like an advantage for Project PD, but it seems like Fab Iceman got again into his rhythm and the gap is staying quite the same now. But
yeah, I think it was just a mistake from Fab Iceman. Although that was a stunning lap from Project PD last time around, it does look like exactly as you say that Fab Iceman has found his rhythm again. Has started to rebuild that lead. We'll see what the lap times are when they come back over the line. Deluvian is still on the back of Battenberg. Oh, and you can see how Deluvian is really fighting that Renault Sport car, coming through 7 and 8, now through 9. And he's too far back from Battenberg to make an attempt on the Panasonic car into 10. There you go. Oh no, I think Deluvian either's got a real problem with that car, struggling to turn its car in, or he was put off by Battenberg being a little slow through turn 10 there, and that really kind of threw him off.
Or after his mistake, he's just angry with himself and trying to overdrive the car. It could also be, I mean, it kind of looked like with him going wide several times, not making himself.
Could be. Could well be. And that's the gap, as we just saw on our camera, between PD and Alex Salmon. Alex Salmon is now 6 seconds behind this particular gap, behind this battle, but still in a very solid position there in third, as the field have pretty much spread out now. We're on lap 9, so 5 laps to go, or under 5 laps to go now. And Fab Iceman is not out of the woods. Again, as you see, one mistake can be very, very costly. And having Project PD chasing after you is never comfortable at the best of times. We've seen how good this, we've seen how good the German is. He's coming through 11 and 12 now. Fab Iceman, I certainly know from other leagues how good Fab Iceman really is. And the results he's had so far in this season really are not telling of his skill at all, but by the simple fact that he's leading and able to maintain and even build the gap between himself and someone like Project PD.
Yeah, currently he's doing a great job of leading, and I mean, this race, he's really showing his potential, and that he's also good with Formula cars. But yeah, he always had a little bit of bad luck. I mean, I wasn't able to follow the last 2 races that much, but in the first race at Nürburgring he had just a lot of bad luck, a little bit of bad qualifying, and then yeah, I was always trapped in the troubles in turn 1. So that was always kind of like his race gone already after 1 or 2 laps. Nothing he could do about really. But now he's really showing his potential, and yeah, he's doing that what we had expected him the whole season, like running at the front or running near the front and challenging the top runners. But yeah, currently it looks very good. But also Elodie, although he's not capitalizing on his setup skills this week, it looks very good, although he had a little bit of problem, and I think he was able to catch a glimpse. Yeah, catch a glimpse now, 3 seconds behind him, so it's not that stressful for him anymore the last 3 laps.
Absolutely, and Elodie's had some pretty bad luck as well as the season's gone on. He's had some pretty solid results, best being 4th so far in the feature race of Bernau, but his races at Laguna Seca just went horrifically wrong, finishing 18th and 9th respectively in the sprint and feature race. But yet, catch a glimpse, it's bouncing over the apex of turn 13, quite hard, but still keeps the car going. Catch a glimpse, yeah, he's there in 12th. As season's been improving, and he's on course for his season best so far. He's had 8.76. Sadly, as mentioned before, he didn't finish the feature race at Laguna, so he's looking to definitely build upon that. There is Miyagi, who is 6.2 seconds behind Cataclysms now, about 4 seconds ahead of Gosku. Gosku, as you can see, the Panasonic car in the background, is now under pressure by Deluvian. You see the Panasonic car of Battenberg looking to take the defensive line against Deluvian. And Deluvian's been on the podium twice, sadly missed Bernau, and with a 5th and a 7th, so has had some decent results, but finds himself down in 9th at the moment, and does look like he's really struggling. Night Tiger was caught up in the early troubles of this particular race. He finds himself 13th in the season so far. A little bit up and down results for him. Tao is in 16th, so he really needs a solid result, but sadly not going to go his way for the first race here. There is Unstoppable Paul. His race his season has been getting gradually better, but sadly this will take a bit of a knock to that. Ashnoom. Oh, Ashnoom has had a problem at turn 10. He's going very, very slow out of there. And yeah, Ashnoom, where is he? He's 15th, right in the middle of the table. So he was looking for, I mean, he's at least been consistently in the kind of low to mid-teens area, in which he finds himself again. And finally, Cobusnell in the second D-Box car. Where is he? Cobusnell is currently 22nd, so it's been a very difficult season for Cobusnell so far, but he presses on and will still pick up some points anyway.
Yeah, and we are already in the pre-last lap.
And 26 treble 9 for Fab Iceman. Wow.
Yeah, that's really quick, and the gap is now 2.5 seconds, so was nearly exactly a second quicker the last time around. So Fab Iceman is really pushing the car now, the last few laps, and it seems like Project PD doesn't have any answer anymore, or he's just not willing to risk it. We don't know
possible.
yet.
But it's certainly possible. I mean, Fab Iceman's even quicker still on this lap, so he's not risking having Project PD that close to him. He wants to get to that checkered flag. He's now going to go around and start the final lap. Let's ride on board with him and see how well he fares. And he just lost a bit of time in that final sector, 27.0. 1,000th of a second difference between himself and Project PD. But as no one seems to be in a particular battlefield position at the moment, we can follow Fab Iceman through the long turn 3. These cars can absolutely grip the apex quite handily. Now through 4. He doesn't have to push too hard. He can back off a little, but the PD is still lurking in the background. Now down to 5. Keep it nice and steady then. Hard on the gas once more. Sweeps through 6. Then the fast chicane of 7 and 8. You saw he had to put a little bit of opposite lock in there as the tail just twitched now. Flat through 9, or probably the nearest of lift through 9. Sprints on down to 10. It looks so effortless from Fab Iceman, but Catalunya is anything but an effortless circuit. Now into the twisties. 12. Oh, and again the tail just wanted to let go, but Fab Iceman caught it in time. 13. Now down to the final few, 14, 15. It's still very easy to lose it. And again, have to put a lot of left-hand lock in there. But it was still effortless win. Oh, it looked it from us. I'm sure Fab Iceman will say something different, but your winner of the sprint race is Fab Iceman. Project PD comes home second. But Salmon, there he is. A good 9 seconds down the road in third. A solid result, but he may want to do some tweaks after that one.
Yeah, but definitely seems like hopefully Fab Iceman's season is back on track. And I mean, we still have 3 races following after tonight, so still a lot of chances to gain at least a lot of positions in the championship. Maybe be a little bit of a spoiler in the championship fight at the end of the season.
Indeed, Elodie came home in 4th. He made a mistake on Catalunya, so Catalunya chased him over the line. Miyagi comes home in 6th, Gosk 7, Battenberg is in 8th, Diluvian comes home in 9. Night Tiger is still going. Night Tiger down to Cobusnell, a lap down. I think Cobusnell's just come across the line, so Ashneem is already there. Night Tiger, Towdew and Unstoppable Paul still going. There is Night Tiger. He'll want to put this one behind him and focus very much on the feature race, which does hold more points than the sprint race. There is Towdew. And it's being chased home by Unstoppable. And that will round out our runners. There we go. That the official Finishing results, Fab Iceman didn't quite manage to beat that 126.999, but at least did break that 27 barrier. So Project PD 2, Alex M3, Eladir 4, Cataglimpse 5, Miyagi 6, Goscu 7, Battenberg 8, Delivian 9, Night Tiger 10, Towndew 11, Unstoppable 12, Ashning 13, Cobra Snell 14, and Drax and Tim we lost early on.
Yeah, so let's see if we can get already our race winner to talk to him a little bit.
Grab hold of Mr. Iceman. You're the one with the admin.
Oh man, that's
we've grabbed him in the middle of a conversation. That's always a little game us commentators like to do. Fab Iceman, hello.
Hey, Mr. King Kodiak.
Hello.
Hello, Wayfarer. Hello, man.
Glad to see you in the commentary box. Great win for you. It looked like you lost the lead early on, regained it, and then it didn't look like you had too much to do, but I'm sure it felt very differently to you.
I lost the lead?
Briefly, right there.
Oh, I know what you're talking. Yeah, well, what can I say? That was super unexpected for me to be on the pole, and well, yeah, what can I say? For the race, I just tried to like go as fast as I can. I mean, of course, there wasn't an easy task after I got a little bit of time to project, because the car is like so twitchy sometimes, and you feel like you're gonna ram it into the wall in just a second. But I'm so glad I just brought it to the end.
Awesome stuff. And we did follow you around for a few laps. We were on board with you, particularly for the last lap. So did it kind of feel just kind of nice and comfortable, or were you always conscious of the fact that the Project PD was nearby? Did you constantly feel the need to push, or were you thinking, no, I can just comfortably bring this home?
I saw that Project DP is struggling a lot in the dirty air behind me, and that gave me a little bit of a confidence boost. I knew I can't let him close to me, like so he can make a move on me or something. But after I had a 2 seconds gap, I really just concentrated on doing my thing, on driving fast and clean laps, and somehow it worked out.
Awesome stuff. Well, great job to talk to you.
Thank you.
Unusual for me to talk to you in 2 different leagues and 2 different com boxes, but great to see you at the top of the tree, and look forward to the next one.
Yeah, me too. Have fun, guys.
Yeah, congratulations once again, and thank you for talking to us.
User was moved out of your channel.
Let's see if we can get a quick word from Project PD, how he saw that, kind of battle at the lead.
User was moved to your channel.
And there he is. Hello, Mr. PD.
Oh, hello. You were very lucky. I'm just coming back from the pee-pee box.
Perfect timing. Oh, how was that one for you?
On the one side, they are good points for the championship. On the other side, I just said it below in the channel, my mess for this championship is that I have ever lost the battles on the circuit. And don't make any fight for mistake. Sadly, I just won the victory now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it looked like your starts are absolutely incredible. In most races I've commentated on, you've just absolutely flown off the line. And once again, we saw you just about nudging to the lead, but then Fab Iceman got into his stride. Were you kind of just thinking, no, I need to kind of just bring the car home, or were you certain you could push for the win?
I can't follow you correctly. So when you mean down to the straight to the first corner, or
well,
all in all?
As obviously you were chasing Fab Iceman for most of it. Did you think I've got the pace to get into the lead, or did you think no, let's not risk it, let's not push it too hard and bring the car home?
Oh, I tried it until lap 5 or so, but I got a very heart attack moment in the last corner when I opened the DRS a bit too early and nearly slammed it into the wall. And so I said, yeah, okay, do a bit more patient now, but try to keep on him if you do a mistake. And then I think, yeah, at lap 10 or 11 I thought, okay, come. Just let him drive away. I just want to do a fast lap, maybe the fastest of the race for the 12th lap or the 13th lap. Don't know if I get that. Maybe you can help me out there.
I'm afraid you
not.
didn't.
No.
It was close.
How
Fairlife
many-
Man, I'm afraid, stole that one from you as well.
How many tens?
It wasn't even one. He got 26 treble 9.
Yeah, okay. Next race, next chance.
Well, we look forward to seeing you on the track shortly.
Yeah. Okay.
Good luck.
Thank
luck.
you.
So that just leaves Mr. Salmon to
User
talk.
was moved out
Yeah,
of your channel.
quickly have a word with him and then maybe quickly get into a short commercial break to prepare us for race 2. Quick word with Alex Selman.
User was moved to your channel.
Alex!
Hello, I finished.
Well, you started and you
Yes, I
finished.
started. Yeah, yeah, that was fun.
You see, it's fourth. It's qualifying fourth seems to be your destiny of if you've qualified fourth, you will disconnect. You didn't qualify fourth and you came home third.
Yeah, to be honest though, I'd have liked to have gone the other way and qualified third, but yeah, that wasn't the case. Yeah.
I mean, it looked like that the gap between you and PD was kind of slowly getting bigger. Were you just more conscious on bringing the car home, or were you struggling to keep with the pace?
Well, my tyres were overheated by the third lap. Second I got up behind him, I started to slide, and then my tyre temperature went up and stayed up, which is just the nature of this track and the times we're racing. I think I was going around with 120, 130 degrees on my front left.
Ooh,
So-
that's rather warm.
Yeah, it was interesting, but yeah, I mean, the race is the first 3 laps, and that's about it, really. That's
I
one
see.
of those.
I mean, with the pit stop coming into play for this race, do you feel it go differently, or are you thinking that you need to solidify your performance early again?
Well, I hope it will be different, but we'll see. Yeah, it's just qualify well, I think, is the first aim.
Well,
And then we'll see.
we're heading the track now. So good luck, and we'll see how it pans out.
Right, thank you.
So, Wayfarer, you didn't get a
User
chance to
was
ask a
moved
single
out
thing
of
to
your channel.
anybody there. I
Yeah,
got
and
into my striders.
I actually wanted to have a short break because unfortunately we messed up a little bit with the intro at the beginning.
Oh, dear.
So I wanted to use the chance to quickly change the intro and show it because James actually made a lot of work to do that. But yeah, it seems like we don't have the chance, unfortunately.
Or what we'll do when we're on the 2-minute, after we've confirmed the qualifying results, we can run that intro and then we'll go over the 2-minute starting point as
Yeah,
well.
that's a possibility.
Now, we've lost someone already. We are down to 15 before anybody came out.
Yeah,
It's oh no, it's not Alex Salmon.
I think we lost Tim.
Tim.
Tim
Tim,
didn't start
yeah.
the second race, so
Oh no, he may not have been in the server, come to think of it. So
Yeah,
I think
probably.
we've lost Tim from the first race. He's not in TeamSpeak either, so sadly, Tim will not be taking part in this particular race. As everybody, bar Unstopper Paul, has... Unstopper Paul's coming out, so all 15 drivers are coming out. So we'll see how they fare in the second qualifying. Who has... must be yellow there ahead, it certainly isn't Puffy. Man would not want a car ahead of him, but it's getting the heating to the tyres. He's not going to be too worried that Eladir has actually jumped out of Fab Iceman's way. It's nice and sporting of him. As Iceman comes around turn 12, we'll look to get if we hop on board with Iceman as he starts his first qualifying run. Keep it settled, get a good exit off of turn 16. And now away goes Iceman. He'll have that DRS open. There we go, we can see the speed of that. Screaming on down towards turn 1. Gonna slam the anchors on about now. Oh, this was actually slightly later than I thought he would be. Ooh, I think that's going to cost him a few because it looked like he went a little deep into turn 1. Sweeping now through 3. He's going to let the car wander over to the left hand side after the after the rumble strips run out under the bridge, and then throw it in for turn 4. Oh, you can see how much steering change he's having to put in. It's not a lot of opposite lock, so it's relatively stable, but it is calling in a few kind of minor corrections. Through 5, sweep through 6 again. Touch the rumble strip on the outside, throw it towards 7, bounce over 8. Over the left-hand side now, drives on through 9. He just aims straight for the 100-meter braking board. Heavy on the brakes then at 75 meters, and he's gone very deep at 10. Has kept it going. I think it's going to be a great lap from Iceman, but it will be a time on the board again. Just the bumps just throwing the nose of the car away from the apex. Now 14-15. It just doesn't look very balanced actually from Iceman. I wonder if he's made a change that just isn't working for him. Through turn 16, what is the time on the board? Catalunya was the first one to put a time on the board, and it is a 1:25.7 for Fab Iceman.
1:25.7, that's quite a good lap, although there's definitely room for improvement, as he was quite late on the apex, in turn 10 especially. But yeah, the first time's already coming in, and yeah, I just hope the race direction is not disqualifying me for cheating a bit and taking the mandatory pit stop already before the race.
Oh, Project PD's getting close again. He's jumped back to the pits straight away, so he must have made that car very light. 1:26.1 from Project PD.
And Alex Elmon already in third with 26.2. So again, quite close in the front.
It was exactly as you called it, though, Wayfarer. You did say that they'd have problems with the tyre temperature. It was exactly what Alex Hamilton was having early on in the sprint race. So let's hope that they... Oh, wow, that's determined from Fab Iceman. He's really wanting to get those tyres warmed up pronto. I mean, they'd start ice cold when you come out of the pits in the qualifying run. Now, this race is done at... the race is around about midday. So the track temperature will be quite a bit warmer. So if they were struggling in the sprint race, they will certainly be wanting to keep an eye on their tyre temperatures for the feature race.
Yeah, I think in the feature race the drivers will even struggle more with tires. And yeah, good thing we have now a pit stop. But the problem is you don't want to do the stop too early, because then you are struggling on the second stint. So strategy will be again a huge factor, I think, in this race. And yeah, we will see how it plays out. But currently, yeah, Catalunya, it also seems like he's on a out lap.
Yeah.
Doesn't really look like he's pushing, but now he's starting to push the car a bit more to get the perfect run into his hot lap.
Yeah, so the only man without a time on the board. Oh, wow, that was a lot of understeer coming into 15, but he'll now start his run. That's Unstoppable Paul heading up towards turn 9. He'll be on a hot lap then, currently 5th, 1:26.820 for the Trex Energy car. Moving on down towards turn 10. How does he keep this one under control? Nice, keeps it nice and settled towards the apex then, now through 11. Long, slightly off camber, turn 12. Now 13. Can he keep the momentum going? Got just over a second to find between himself and the pole spot. Can he do it? Through 16 then, DRS open and streaming on towards the line once again. Does he improve? Answer is he does not. He remains in 5th position. How much fuel has he got on board? Oh, he's got plenty on board, so he will have enough for another lap. But if he's boiled his tyres, that may well hinder him somewhat. Most people out. The only people are not are Eladir and Cobusnell. Oh, that's
I think Miyagi being trapped behind Costco. Yeah.
Oh, well, good, well remembered. Fab Iceman's improved again with a 1:25.3 on the board. He's brought his car back to the pit and he's come straight back out again, so he's not sitting on his laurels at all.
Seems like his tactics are his tactic is one out lap, one hot lap, back to the pits and repeat. I think it's maybe with the track being that hard on the tires, I think that's maybe the strategy to go. because with the second hot lap you don't have the grip anymore that you have with only one lap old tires. And the track is also not too long, so you don't lose too much time in the outlap. I mean, it works as it seems. He's 6/10 in front, nearly 7/10 in front, so...
Oh, as Alex Salmon has just jumped up to the second spot. So as he brings his car to rest. If he gets back out, he will have time to do another. He is sat still, so maybe he'll feel that that's the best he can do. 26-0 in second place. A great effort for him. Project PD is out there. Oh, again, tail getting very squirrely through 7 and 8. Lovely screaming Renault engine and these things. Down towards 10-10. The whole lap can go horribly wrong at this point. Now, we saw this before where Project PD just seems to take an earlier apex than some other drivers. Some tend to brake in a straight line and then throw it towards the apex, whereas ED tends to take a much more gentle but earlier approach to the apex. It's certainly done well for him. Let's see then if he's able to improve. He's got only 0.03 of a second to find to get back into second. 7 cents to get onto the pole. Does he improve? 1:26.104. 1:25.836. So he does improve. Not Alex Salmon out a second. Alex is still in the pit, so he will not have time to improve from that spot then. What a great effort from PD. Does he have enough? He just about has enough fuel on board for another lap, so we'll keep an eye on him. Where is Fab Iceman though? He is, that's turn 4, is it? Yes.
Yeah, he's directly in front of Project PD. So, I mean, they are still, I think, 4 to 5 seconds, but...
Yeah, absolutely. We saw Fab Iceman getting very slidey there. Less than a minute. Oh, no, that's too much.
That's the lap screwed.
Yep, he won't have time. And there we go, he jumps back to the pits. It's all on PD now. Unless someone from Eladir downwards, which is 5th and onwards, has an absolutely storming lap. It is on at Project PD to try and knock Fab Iceman off that top spot. Through turn 10 once more. Only 3 cars not on track, so everybody is pressing on to try and improve. Into 13, and again lots of sliding going on. Ashton brings his car in. He will start at the tail of the field in 15th. That's 1:28.9. Do the last turn. DRS again. Does PD improve? The flag is out. And answer is he did not. And Project PD pressed as hard as he could, but did not improve. Eladir is out there, but I don't think Eladir was on a time lap. Oh, Taudu just jumped up to 6th. Good effort there. 1:26.520. So in the Fanatec car, so that's a decent starting spot for him. There is Eladir. I'm not too sure it is pushing too hard, but that could just be from this particular perspective. Deluvian is about to cross over the line. Does he improve? He did. 5th position, 1:26.3. There's a great battle forming there from pretty much 4th to 7th. That group, they're very, very close together. Battenberg just crossed the line. He will start no higher than 12th, 1:27.442. Cobusnell is pressing on. Taudu's done. Eladir is... that's turn 12. He's just come through, so 13 then. Coming to the end of his laps, there's just Eladir and Cobusnell to finish their laps. Oh, big snap of oversteer there from the Sheriff Itzacar. And I think it's fair to say this one probably isn't going to be an improvement. And indeed, it was not. There's Cobusnell in the background.
And I think Cobusnell is already our last driver coming over the line.
I believe so. Yeah, just Battenberg is under control of the areas. But Cobusnell did improve up to 11th, 1:27.293. Not even 100ths of a second ahead of Goskill. 9 thousandths indeed between himself and Goskill.
Yeah, so it's also quite tight in the middle of the pack. So we might see some great battles now, also with pit stops where you can manage that a little bit more. I think it's going to be again a great race, and yeah, will be interesting how it unfolds at the front again.
Absolutely.
Our qualifying session over, and we have Fab Iceman again on the pole. So the question is he able to sweep the weekend?
Right, well there are the qualifying positions, and we get the intro sequence running for at least in the next couple of minutes. We'll get that rerun for you as we have some technical difficulties early on, and I will scream when the 2 minutes is about to end. That's the 2 minutes done. We need to get this one underway. 3 lives then. We've already lost Alex Salmon again, sadly, but 14 cars then sprint away. We can't even see them from that particular angle as the fog is very thick. This time Project PD doesn't get as good a start as we've seen from previous. Fab Iceman hanging on an inside line. We're on board with Unstoppable Paul. He's lost that third position to Deluvian. What a great start there for the Raiders Sport car. Project PD has gone up into the lead through turns 1 and 2 from Fab Iceman. That was, I think it was Towdy running a bit wide. Now streaming on down towards turn 4. Deluvian hanging on to that third position from Unstoppable Energy. Oh, that was almost a bit of a contact there for 5th position. Everybody seems to have gone through okay. Looking at the back of the field, Gosku. Oh dear, Gosku's had a bit of a problem. Is running a bit slowly at the tail, but is still running. No major incidents, it would seem this time. Oh no! Kobus now has had trouble. No sooner do I say that, he was running slow. He's lost a lot of positions. I think he's actually lagging. So a bit of connection problem there for Kobus now. But Project PD this time is the one in the lead. And the top 3 this time is PD, Fab Iceman and Deluvian, it seems.
Yeah, very nice start of Project PD. I just wanted to say it kind of looked like equal in the first race, but this time with the better end for Project PD. It will be interesting now if he has the chance to get away of Fab Iceman, or if Fab Iceman is challenging him. But yeah, again, very unfortunate for Alex Helmut. He also said the champ now. 3rd game crash in 3 races. That's really disappointing for him.
Oh, unbelievable. Catalunya has decided to come in early. And there he is. Let's see if there's any damage on his car. Gosku's coming as well. We saw Gosku going very slowly through turn 4, so he's probably had a problem. I wouldn't be at all surprised to learn. But oh, that's Deluvian on Fab Iceman. Now Project PD is really running off into the distance. Oh, that's Deluvian getting very close. Coming through turn 4. It's difficult to see through the fog. This is really, really thick.
Yeah, but, the fog is currently really thick, but I don't think it's affecting the drivers too much. They should know the track, and they definitely know the track good enough. And from the driver's perspective, it isn't. That's tricky. It's only, unfortunately, for our TV cameras.
I was going to say, yes, there's more problem for us than there is for them. But coming back a little bit, that's on board from Tauju, that's a little bit wide at turn 9. That's Elodie and Unstoppable Paul, 4, 5 and 6 in pretty short succession. Catalunya came back out on track pretty quick. Gosku is still there, so he definitely suffered damage on the first lap. Nothing like what we saw in the first race, thankfully. So most cars have decided to carry on. We've seen how well the early pit stops can work for some people. Exactly as you said before, Wayfarer, it is a risk, especially if they pick up damage in these cars later on, might force them to have to come in again.
Yeah, although I think that both stops were caused by yeah, they were due to damage, because I don't think that hitting on lap 1 is a too good strategy, especially with the high tire wear on this track. But maybe we learn something from them. We never know.
You never know, indeed. That's Ashling and Miyagi very close together coming into turn 3 as well. So a bit of a better start than for Ashling. Not quite so good for Miyagi so far. But a long way to go. 27 laps in this race. There in the background is Battenberg and Kobesnel in short succession. Drux has fallen a little bit off the back of this particular pace. But like I say, a long way to go. Cataclysm, as we know, has come through the pits along with Goski. So don't discount them. And it looks like this battle is really condensed. Look at that. 4 cars there. That's Ashling, Kobesnel. Miyagi, Ashling, Kobesnel and Battenberg. Bit of a gap between the two pairs, but those could well get into a battle. But look at this, that's Night Tiger in 7th with Tauji, Eladir and Unstoppable Paul. That's a real great battle. Look how close Tauji is to Eladir.
Yeah, that's definitely quite a gaggle of cars, and I think they're... Oh, it almost... Yeah, they're catching up to Lumen.
It's Goski.
Oh,
it's Goski in the middle. Yeah. They're in the same car.
Yeah, they are teammates, but this time it got me, and unfortunately with the fog, it's even harder to see the numbers.
Oh, Diluvians come in.
That's a very interesting approach.
So I mean, he was in 3rd, so it didn't look like he was having trouble. And there's Battenberg in as well. So quite a few people looking to take the early pit stop there, and that makes sense if you're in traffic. Definitely get out of. If you feel you've got the pace over the people ahead of you, get your pit stop out of the way.
Yeah, and maybe they are even thinking that 2-stopper is quicker. I mean,
could be. Yeah, exactly as you said before.
I think I heard something that maybe that was also the case at Bruno. That people had to 2-stop the race. So, yeah, maybe that. I mean, it definitely looks kind of like 2-stop because 23 laps is going to be a very interesting story on those tires.
Could well be. Night Tiger is still right on the back of Tauji. That's battle for 5th position now. Eladir on the back of Unstoppable Paul. Not that you can see from that camera. Chasing him down towards turn 10. Project PD leads by 2 seconds over Fab Iceman. So those two swapping positions from the last race. And Unstoppable Paul getting very unsettled through turn 11. That's compromising through 12, but Eladir is keeping that pressure on, not relenting against. That's a big old hit off of the apex of 13. That really can cause you trouble. And they're not looking to come in at the moment. Night Tiger is still hanging on to... That's Gosku that you just saw in the background. He's gotten out of the way. Of course, he's a lap down from these guys. So he is under blue flag conditions, unlike Night Tiger and Tauji just coming past. Now the fog will lighten up. It will become essentially a cloudy day as the race progresses. Drux is in from 10th position, so another early pit stopper. And we'll see how that plays out for him.
Now we have Eladir trying to get closer to Unstoppable, but I think if he gets closer, he's suffering too much from the turbulences that Unstoppable's car is causing, and especially on those mid-speed corners that are now coming up in that section 7, 8, 9. I think there you're extremely struggling, especially over the crest in turn 9. There the aerodynamics is very important, and I mean that's kind of the story of the race. Unfortunately, people aren't really able to follow each other because of the turbulences and the dirty air, but maybe he is able to get a little bit closer and place an attack. But currently it doesn't seem so, unfortunately.
Well, we'll see. Because the feature is having that extra strategic element. It's up to the drivers when they bring the car in. And there's always the possibility of them coming in more than once. But at the moment, Eladir is right with Unstoppable. So have a quick rundown of where everybody is. There is Project PD leading the way with Fab Iceman in hot pursuit in just a couple of seconds down. Fab Iceman was 4 thousandths quicker than Project PD. You need a bit more than that. I mean, bearing in mind the cars are very heavy at the moment, and that's how much fuel they're taking on board. I take it Project PD slightly lighter, 28 litres to 31. It won't make a drastic amount of difference. Unstoppable, so just under 32 litres for him with Eladir 39 litres. So Eladir's actually doing a pretty good job. That is a noticeable difference. 9 litre difference, or 8 litre difference, will certainly be noticeable. Tauji, 32 litres on board for him. Night Tiger, near as damn it the same. 5th and 6th. Ashnoom in 7th, having a much better run this time around. He's much lighter, 26 litres on board for him. He's not being challenged by Cobus now, as you saw in the background there, 41 litres. So again, very heavy for him. He's looking to go very long at this particular point. There is Miyagi, the Luigo car, in 9th. 32 litres on board for him. 9 seconds behind Cobus now. 17 ahead of Diluvian, who we saw coming into the pits. So from 10th downwards have all been through the pits. 80 litres on board for him, so he's looking to press on to the race finish if he can. Cataclysm, similar kind of story, in 11th place. Only 5 seconds behind Diluvian and equidistant between himself and Battenberg. 88 litres on board for the Panasonic car, so he doesn't want to come in again either. There is Drux, 81 on board for you. So he's about 14.2 behind Battenberg, and Gosku with that early trouble heads first in the pits. He's got 76 litres. That should see him towards the end. And Miyagi from 9th place has brought his car in. He's still had 30 litres on board, so it shouldn't be too long a stop for him. And still, Eladir chases Unstoppable for that final podium spot.
Yeah, but it seems like Miyagi also wants some fresh Michelin tires on his car, and maybe, yeah, a little bit of fuel to end the race. But yeah, it seems like now it's definitely well known that refueling during the pit stop is probably faster than start with a full tank.
Indeed. He's got 53 litres on board. I'm assuming he's going to take it. Yeah, there we go. I was going to say 53 I shouldn't think will last. So he'll come out around where Drux is. And they're, of course, still chasing Unstoppable. You just saw Taudio and Night Tiger in the background. Unfortunately, I have to AFK for a moment. If you could take over the comms for me, Mr. Wayfarer, I shall be back shortly.
Yeah, of course, King Kodak, I can do that. So we have now Eladir in P4, and unfortunately with King Kodiak being AFK, we only see Eladir for the moment. But that's probably not a too bad thing, as he is getting closer to Unstoppable. In the lead currently, Fab Iceman was 3/10 quicker the last time around than Project PD. And the gap is currently 1.9 seconds as we are in lap 8 of 27. So the gap between Unstoppable and Elodie, it seems like Elodie is now struggling a bit, but the gap is getting bigger. Maybe Taudio was nearly half a second quicker than Elodie and Unstoppable the last time around. Oh, yeah, and he's now in P6, so Night Tiger and Taudio switched positions. It seems like Night Tiger is now on the run. But as you can already see, the weather is getting clearer and our cameras are actually seeing again something. So it will be now easier for us to call the action, as we can actually see what happens on the track. But it will be interesting how long he will follow Unstoppable. I mean, he's now far enough away to not get too many problems with his aerodynamics due to the dirty air, but still, maybe he has already damaged his tires by following him. He has also to take a bit of an earlier pit stop.
I'm back, sorry about that. I just had to quickly attend to my my youngster who'd woken up.
No problem, I just did a little bit of radio and we got probably currently the most interesting part of the race, or the at least one of sort of battle. But we have now Cobblesnell coming into the pits, probably for 4 new tires and some fuel. But yeah, as I said, yeah, last time around Fab Iceman was only 1/10 quicker than Project PD, so the gap there is quite static. And we also have Diluvian a second time in the pits.
Wow, he wasn't out there long, so we can assume he's got damage of some kind. But we can't see from this angle because the trackside camera does that, so we can't tell if he's had another trouble. Unless
looks fine, but I mean that could be again the game not really showing the damage, but that doesn't look too good.
No, indeed, that is going to hurt his chances somewhat. And oh, he's gone.
Yeah,
So Delivian's gone.
seems like
So-
he has maybe he has some issues with his hardware. Could be. We never know.
Could be. Unless he made a mistake and was just
Yeah.
calling it a day. That's Miyagi on the back of Drux, both of them in the Livigo car. So they are teammates of this race. Down to 13 runners now. And that's 2/10 off the lead then between Fab Iceman and Project PD. Now they can't run too many more laps. They are getting a bit light on fuel, 15 and 18 litres respectively. I wonder if they're going to come in at the same time. So it's going to be a case of who blinks first.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure about how much the fuel consumption is per lap, but I think it's maybe something between 3 and 4 liters. So I think they should be still able to do about, roughly 4 to 5 laps, I think. Because then they would be right at the midway point of the race, which should be, in my opinion, the optimum strategy. To pit right at the midway point, maybe 1 lap earlier, 1 lap later, depending on the race situation. But yeah, it will be interesting. Is Fab Iceman trying to do the undercut, or is maybe Project B undercutting to defend his lead? That is the big question.
Yeah, I think Fab Iceman's just going to copy what Project PD does.
Yeah.
He's really pressing on. He's wanting to get back into the lead. He is not letting Project PD start to run away at all. As Eladir is starting to close back in on Unstopper Paul. They were 1,000th apart last time around. Fab Iceman just did 26.922. That was faster than he did in the sprint race. Of course, the car is very light now, so that's not entirely surprised. Unstopper Paul comes in from 4th position, so not many people left to do their stops. Eladir was elevated into that 3rd spot, so he hasn't got any dirty air to particularly worry about. Yeah, but all eyes is nearly 4/10, indeed over 4/10 gone from the lead again. So Fab Iceman is really pressing on.
Yeah, so if I was PD now, I think maybe I would this lap or next lap to get new tires and protect the lead, because it currently seems like Fab Iceman is getting closer, although if he stays out it's getting harder for Fab Iceman because he's getting into the dirty air. So very tricky decision, to be honest. I'm glad I'm sitting here and can do it, if I'm an expert, that I can talk like an expert and don't have to think about that myself, especially as those guys don't have a race strategist like in real life. They have to think of the strategy all themselves while driving.
Well, at least the fog's gone, so we don't have to try and guess where people are.
Exactly. But yeah.
No. That's the DPD trying to get a bit of slipstream off of whoever that is further up the road.
I think that might be Cobblesnove.
Indeed, good job. Yes, it was indeed. So Cobblesnove staying well out of the way of those two. I think that probably did help Project PD a bit, but still 3/10 difference between Fab Iceman and Project PD last time around. Yeah, it's that fuel amount is really starting to become a problem. But yeah, exactly as you say, they probably are going to look to stretch that out. 2 more laps probably is, well, that's easy enough done on the fuel they've got. So that is probably going to be the point where they jump. But it's going to be a case of if Fab Iceman feels he could go maybe a lap later than PD, or does he want to try and undercut him? That's really what I want to see.
Yeah, I think, or if I was Fab Iceman, I wouldn't do the same as Project PD does, because now he can get a little bit closer, but yeah, it will be difficult. And if he's trying something different, maybe he has more of a chance. And there's, especially in US racing, there's always kind of like that saying, always do the opposite of that what the guy in front of you does. So maybe he's thinking of that and he's trying a different approach. But currently it seems like the gap is maybe again, growing a bit.
No, 26.8. That's no doubt helped by that big old lump of slipstream that Project PD had on the last lap. But still, neither of them coming in. And we will see. Oh no, Diluvian. Engine overheating, no fuel. Oh no. That'll do it. That will spell the end of the race, sadly. But on they go. And Fab Iceman just lost that half a second to to Project PD, but Project PD's really running that fuel tank dry. Ashnoom now comes in. So that's just the top 5, I believe, that haven't been in the pits yet.
Yeah, I think so. The top 5 are missing.
Yeah, I reckon. Well, Fab Iceman probably won't know how much fuel Project PD has on board, so I think it's fair to say that he will probably he will look to go a lap later, I would think, because he has been slowly lap on lap on lap drawing Project PD in. So I think he's going to go a lap later.
Yeah, I think because if he pits earlier, he's in the danger of maybe running into the people that haven't pitted yet, which is, I mean, it's not that much of a problem, I think, tonight, because it's not that many people out there, but if we have our normal grid of 26 people, that could be easily a problem.
Yeah.
If he goes one lap longer, he has clean air at least for one full lap, where he can give everything and push as hard as he can, and then shred his tires before he goes to the pits.
I don't think he's going to be able to. I don't actually think Fab Iceman's got enough fuel.
Maybe you can get a quick look at Project PD, how much fuel he has left. Okay, PD is definitely pitting this lap.
Yeah, he will be, but I think Fab Iceman's got enough to do 2 more laps. So he's got to come in this time as well.
Yeah.
Which is probably not what he wanted to do. Night Tiger is in as well, so from Phil, I think it was originally 4th position. So these two are going to have to come in at the same time, but then it's going to be a case of, and this is exactly on the halfway point now. So
I'm not sure, but did PD miscalculate himself and he has to save fuel a bit? It kind of seems so, because he's quite slow on this lap.
It could be he sort of looked at the fuel amount and gone, oh no!
1 liter, that's getting close. That's getting close.
Yeah. Yeah, you really don't want to be running that kind of risk, especially if...
He's definitely saving fuel.
Yeah. Oh, that... I mean, he'll do it, but that's close. That's very, very close. You better hope that your pit crew doesn't forget to put the fuel in.
Yeah, so both are in the pit now.
Yeah, both of them coming up. I'm not convinced Fab Iceman would have made it. I mean, in fact, he wouldn't have done, because Project PD had over 3 litres of fuel before they came in, and as you quite clearly see, he doesn't have a litre left. So, yeah, Fab Iceman would not have made it with that much fuel left, but Elodie's still got a little bit more on the tank. He comes in as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Interesting.
Now it's about who has the faster pit crew.
Yeah. PD's underway for so far. Oh, look at that! At exactly the same moment, both of them get back underway. Oh, that's fabulous. Towdy's actually in the lead now in the Fanatec car, but he'll have to come in next lap anyway, which will be the last person, I believe. Oh, that'll be Drux.
But I think we should get back to the real leaders of the race. Because that could be getting very interesting now with Fab Iceman getting very close due to that miscalculation of Project PD.
Yeah, one of them has got that quite wrong. Because look at the difference, 44 to 51. That's a big difference.
6 liters.
But you've got to think how close they were when they got back underway again.
Yeah.
So, I'm just going to quickly do some maths. Oh, if it's 3 litres a lap, Project PD is going to be cutting that very, very far. Because 30, well, he might have a little bit in hand, but Fab Iceman's going to be much more comfortable with that. Okay. I wonder whether Project PD is going to think about fuel saving. He might just about do it, but he's going to be close.
So maybe he had to use more than... I mean, in the first race he was running about at least half the race kind of in slipstream, and therefore he used less fuel, and maybe now he miscalculated himself because of that. Yeah, will be interesting how that will play out.
Well, the 14 laps at 3 litres a lap is 42 litres.
Whoa.
That's got to be close. That is going to be real close. So Fab Iceman is just basically giving himself, 6-7 litres in hand, so he can just press on without having to worry about it. He'll have to worry about his tyres. Tauji being the last man in, so he'll come out probably behind Unstoppable and Elodie as they are coming through now.
Yeah, he's now coming out of the pit lane, so he will I think Night Tigers, if that is Night Tiger, he will also get him. Yeah.
Yep. So those four are actually fairly close. Unstoppable, LED, Night Tiger, and Tauji. They could kind of condense up to make a bit of a battle. And Catalunya isn't all that far off the back of them. So that could be a definite battle, but all eyes at the moment, that I assume is Gosku that's they've just gone past. It is indeed. So yeah, it's oops. Fab Iceman wanders a bit wide. Yeah, all eyes are going to be on these two for the rest of the race, I would think.
Yeah, and is PD already starting to feel safe?
It could be.
Or is Fab Iceman just much more comfortable now with new tires?
Oh, that is close.
I mean, there's also always the possibility of kind of getting a tire set that isn't that good than the others, but I mean, we won't hope so that Michelin bought 40 tires, but
I think it's fair to say that compound-wise they'll all run the same.
yeah, all run the same, but there's still like some differences. I mean, not every tire is exactly the same, so sometimes you have more grip, sometimes you have less grip. But yeah, Fab Iceman definitely looks much more confident now in the car and is able to close up very quickly.
Yeah, 4/10 difference that last lap around, 27.5 to 27.9. Yeah, Fab Iceman suddenly come alive. He wants that lead, but of course he won't know what the fuel situation is with PD unless, of course, PD's decided to announce it in TeamSpeak, which I would be a little bit surprised if he did. Through turn 9. And Fab Iceman a little bit too far back to attack this time, but again, he may be confident that he'll be able to attack later on. That was what I was talking about earlier with PD seems to favour taking the apex earlier, almost like he's taking the defensive line. PD seems to prefer going for an earlier apex, whereas Fab Iceman seems to prefer to take a later one but break in a straight line. So different driving styles there could well suit their setups.
Yeah, it always kind of seemed like PD is more of the fluent driver that likes to take nice lines, and I think he's doing a lot of drain braking also with these cars. There are some other people like Fab Iceman or Alex Selman that have, especially Alex, who has an extremely aggressive driving style and is often hammering the car very round. Also, I mean, Fab Iceman is very hard to say how he's kind of have like a mix of that. He's also more like, yeah, as you said, braking in a straight line and then get the car into the corner. But he doesn't seem so aggressive when driving. So it also seems always quite collected and calm when he's behind the wheel. But he's definitely quick. But yeah,
Indeed.
seems like PD got his rhythm a little bit back again.
Oh, just looking through the lap times, actually, the fastest man last time around was this man. Tauju in 6th position of the Fanatec car is less than 2 seconds. Oh, that won't help. But he's only a couple of seconds off the back of Night Tiger. Oh, that's 2 seconds there and 2/10 here. Look at that. He's nearly pushing Project PD through the twisty section. There's a little scruffy coming through there. Oh, that's a lot of opposite lock coming in for Fab Iceman. That cost him an opportunity there. Elodie is starting to get on the back of Unstoppable Paul either. As well, rather. So that's the gap between those two. But we'll keep an eye on there. And that is, I think that's Miyagi. No, the other one. Maybe Drux. You have a fantastic memory for this. I'm terrible at remembering who's in which car. So indeed, that was Drux and that. Yeah, that. Fab Iceman lost quite a bit of time there. Less than a 10th difference lap time wise, but we saw that gap is just. From being less than 2/10 to now a second, yeah, that hasn't gone well for Fab Iceman.
Yeah, definitely. Project PD, I think, got the lapper on the perfect spot where he could capitalize a lot on the slipstream. And Fab Iceman already had to, a little bit adjust his corner entry for turn 1 and lost a lot of time there, I think. But yeah, a lot of laps worked now came undone again, and he has to do that all over again, and we only have 8 laps left after this one. So
Yeah.
time is running out a little bit.
Indeed. I'm just thinking about the fuel again. Again, he's got about 10 laps of fuel on there, but that's assuming it's 3 laps. If it's 3.5 or 3 point anything, yeah, Project PD's going to be in a bit of trouble as we draw to a close. Let's see what the lap times were. 27.5, 27.7 for the top 2. Again, that's Tauju. He's right on that pace as well, to be fair. He's not got a lot of fuel in hand either on 33 litres. So he is reading in that pack ahead of him. So Tauju's right in there to score a decent haul of points. And yet again, Fab Iceman now starting to get back in his pace again. Starting to close that gap down, or trying to. Yeah, I'm sure Project PD is staring at his fuel gauge as well, willing it to go up completely of his own accord, but I reckon he's going to have to fuel save before the end.
Yeah, and he's probably thinking like, why don't we have cautions in these races, because then he would do maybe the old NASCAR trick and throw the drinking bottle out of the car and cause it every caution. But yeah, that's not what we get here on foot. I mean, fortunately, but it would be still funny to see. But yeah, it could be close with the fuel, and we definitely have to watch that. But yeah, it seems like Fab Iceman is getting closer again. Let's have a look
Yeah, he
at
definitely
lap
is. Oh, he was, and then he had just had a big moment coming out of coming through turn 16. He's definitely closed in again. Oh yeah. Oh, actually, they were only 81 thousandths apart. So it wasn't by much. It was. I thought it'd be bigger than that. It's interesting they're running in the 28s. That I'm finding curious. Unless they are really struggling with their tyres, so they're struggling equally. Considering we see, and there's Tauji. Look at that. He's on the back of Night Tiger now. So we're seeing others actually doing similar, if not quicker, lap times further down the field. Let's see, 28.4 Unstoppable and Eladir. They're 2,000s apart. So very similar lap times absolutely throughout the entire field, which is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, would be interesting. Do you have a possibility to have a look at the temperatures, because maybe they did rise a little bit?
Sadly not. That's one thing I can't bring up.
That could be affected. That's the temperatures were rising now with more sun coming onto the track. The track temperature rises, which makes the track a little bit slicker and slower, therefore. And maybe all the drivers through the field are a little bit saving the tires, that they have something left for the final of the race.
Yeah. And Iceman is really keeping that pressure on. Through 16 once more. We'll have a look at the lap times again. Now under half a second between the pair of them.
And now he is already in direct slipstream, so...
too far back to make anything happen this time, but gained 2/10 half a second in the last lap. Gosku has actually found someone to fight with. There he is. Gosku and Drux are fighting for 12th.
Very nice pass.
And neither of them particularly wanting that unlucky 13, but yeah, Gosku has gone through. Iceman is still a little bit too far back to make anything happen. But again, look at the lap times, are so consistent. 28.0 again. Eladir and Unstoppable less than the 10th apart. Night Tiger 28.5, 29.3 for Taudi, so he's made a mistake there. 28.7 for Cataclysm, 28.9 Battenberg, 29.6 for Ashnoom, 30.0 for Kobusnel, 29.5 Miyagi, 29.1 for Gosku, and 30.7 for Drux. So not a huge split. And the only ones in the 27s at the moment are these two.
Yeah, and these two have already ran away quite a lot by leading the race by over 20 seconds to P3, but yeah, this lap around I think Fab Iceman was again slower, but
yeah, I agree there, because it's now 7/10.
As we now head into the final 5 laps, yeah, he was Project PD was 2/10 quicker last time around, but
And yet again, and I keep looking at Project PD's fuel. We're assuming it's if it's 3 litres a lap, he'll be fine.
Yeah, if it's more...
If it's more, he's in trouble. If it's much more, I should say. Oh, Fab Iceman's had a big problem there. He's suddenly lost half a second.
That might be some problem braking for Repsol or having a little wiggle out of turn 3. But
oh dear. Is Fab Iceman having tyre trouble? Because that's again another trouble. That's lost him another half a second almost.
Yeah, could be that he overpushed the tires. Always when he tried, especially I think following another car on an aero track like this is very hard on the tires because...
Oh, he's closed it right back in again.
Yeah, it's...
Interesting. It could be that... It could be that Project PD kind of just completely backed off, knowing that he's going to be cutting its high on fuel, but wow! Fab Iceman's now right on top of it again. That was nearly 2 seconds at turn 9, and by turn 16 it's down to half a second again. 2/10 difference in Fab Iceman's favour that time, in the mid-28s. But they're both a second slower than what they can do. And Fab Iceman doesn't seem to be letting up at all.
And I mean...
I thought he was going to wander off the road there.
That was definitely, I think, aero push. There you definitely saw dirty air affecting Fab Iceman's car. But yeah, at this point of the championship, Fab Iceman doesn't really have anything to lose. I mean, I think the only thing that counts for him now are race victories. And I mean, we can already see what his aim is. He wants that win.
And why not? You know, racing drivers always do. They always want the top honours, and fair play, why shouldn't you? Let's see how that old fuel count's doing. It's under 15 litres now.
Yeah, with 3 laps remaining at the end of this lap. So, should be enough.
Indeed. They're going to tell us it's like 2.5, so they had plenty in hand, but I don't think it is. I think it's around about that 3 litre mark, exactly as we've been saying, because, again, every time I recalculate it in my head, it's still very, very close. It's still uncomfortably close for Project PD, but he may well have just got that bang on right.
Oh, and I miscalculated myself. It's actually, I think... Yeah, we're now in lap 25, so...
It is indeed 3 laps to go.
Yeah. It's already getting late here in Austria, so... and I mean, there's a reason why I'm studying informatics, that I don't have to calculate in my brain again. But it seems like I still need it. But yeah, 3 more to go.
Yeah, even at 4 litres a lap, he just about managed. So I don't think fuel is... Whether Project PD has kind of backed off where he could do to just give him enough of a cushion, or whether his calculations were bang on, either way, I don't think he's going to have a problem now unless he suddenly burns through that fuel very, very fast. He should be okay, and Fab Iceman, we know, has got more fuel on board. So whether that extra weight's going to hurt Fab Iceman, I don't know. But he's right in that dirty air once again. Wander off the road a little bit. Again, half a second coming into turn 10. Heavy on the brakes, get through the bumps, and there you see the reverse, the opposite lock coming in for the Tesbo car. Oh, the bumps just unsettled him at the worst possible time. He's sliding the car around turn 13. But it is keeping him right in contention with Project PD. Just 2 more laps to go after this one. He's running out of time to challenge for the lead. Yeah,
now with direct slipstream, he is maybe able to have a look into turn 1. But yeah, Project PD's car is extremely strong in the straights, I have to say. But, I mean, Fab Iceman is in slipstream and he doesn't have a chance to get closer.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty impressive throw, unless, well, I mean, if Fab Iceman was just going to settle for second, I'd have assumed he'd have backed off by now.
Yeah.
But he probably won't accept second unless he absolutely has to. And that's absolutely fine. When he's so close, he took the win in the first round. You can see it right ahead of him. And he was right on board with Project PD to see if he's bringing in anywhere near as many steering corrections as Fab Iceman seems to do.
Yeah. he's also pushing, but doesn't look that aggressive.
No, indeed, he doesn't seem to be fighting his car anywhere near as much as Fab Iceman seems to be for his. Although Fab Iceman gained half a second last time around, there isn't that much gap left. But Project PD's much smoother. You touched on this earlier as well, Wayfarer, where he's just so much smoother on the wheel. Iceman seems to be soaring that wheel everywhere. Oh my goodness, did he have a look on the inside coming towards these last few turns? I think he did. But he's going to, as we come around 16 once again, surely then, less than 2 tenths between them. This is going to be Fab Iceman's best opportunity into turn 1. He's going to be last on the late breakers. He's gaining, but not enough. Is he going to try it? He has a look. He's thinking about it, but it gets very close. But no, he's going to have to wait till turn 10 to try again.
But yeah, we're now in the final lap, so there is one more prime spot, which is turn 10, Lagaisha. That's sharp left-hander after the back straight, but it's getting very entertaining now, the last lap. Now, yeah, one thing he has to do now is kind of survive those aero-pending turns before the back straight and be as close as possible behind PD, and we might see an attack.
Right on board again with the Team Tespo car. He's hoping that Project PD doesn't get a good run here. It's good enough. Is it through turn 9 again? This is where he doesn't have the downforce. And the wake, look at that. Project PD had a great drive out of turn 9. Again, I think Fab Iceman had to fight this car just a little bit too much. Oh, Project PD just had a bad moment there through 10, but Fab Iceman couldn't capitalise on it. He wasn't close enough to make the move. Fab Iceman.
Now he's a bit defensive.
Surely he's not going to. Is he going to try here? No, wow, great defensive driving.
Maybe we see a drag race. Yeah, it's going to be a drag race. It's going to be a drag race.
Side by those is 16. I think Project PD's just managed to do it, but only just 83 thousandths of a second, if that, as they cross the line. Wow, what
that
brilliant!
Was brilliant, yeah. And a drag race at the end. I have to admit, I didn't expect that, but very entertaining.
I suspect Project PD didn't expect it either, but it was so well driven by both of them. There was no collision there whatsoever. Unstoppable Paul comes across the line. We have barely seen him all race long. There's Unstoppable Paul, there's Eladir and Night Tiger and Taoju, third through to 6th. Over the line in fairly short succession. Catch a glimpse. He's going to take 7th in the second Tespo car. Battenberg. Again, we just haven't seen so many people just focusing so much on the lead too because we're so close together. Here comes Battenberg then through the final through turns in the Panasonic car to take 8th position. Ashnu over the line in 9th. Cobbersnell still going in the D-Box car. Yet so many people just haven't seen. They have been there all race long, I assure you. It's just we haven't had a chance to look at them for quite a while. And Miyagi has already crossed the line, so Cobbersnell's the last one to do so. And throws his car spectacularly over the line. Yeah, why not? So there it is, your official finishes then, and Project PD does get the fastest lap this time with that 26.8, big old dose of slipstream on the start-finish line. Fab Iceman 2, Unstoppable 3, and Eladir 4, Night Tiger 5, Taoji 6, Cataclysm 7, Battenberg 8, Ashnu 9, Cobbersnell 10, Miyagi 11, Gosky 12, and Drux rounds out the field.
So yeah, and as we are actually quite early finished tonight, I think we have time, we don't have to rush the interviews, that is... I thought so. I think we should. So the question is, do we get them both in together? That would be actually
Why
interesting.
not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Let's do
User
it.
was moved to your channel.
There's Fab Iceman. He's already muted his
User
mic
was
around,
moved
so
to
whether
your
that's a good thing or
channel.
not. And there is Project PD. They
So-
both are, well, hello gentlemen, again. Well, let's just say we spent most of the time staring at you two. What a finish. That was absolutely amazing. You both must be on top of the world by that one. Fab Iceman, let's come over to you. Are you just happy that you came home? Was that a good result for you, or did you think that the win was possible? I mean, it certainly looked possible, certainly by that finish.
Indeed. I don't know what to say, to be honest. That was just crazy racing. I'm super happy about P2. I didn't think I would finish that far in front or on top at all. So that was amazing results this weekend, but the racing was just, I think that was one of the best races I've ever had.
Excellent stuff. It was certainly amazing for us to watch. So you put on a great show for us, and Project ED. Were you, certainly towards the end, we couldn't tell whether you had enough fuel on board. Were you worried about, you must have been worried about Fab Iceman coming after you, but were you looking at your fuel gauge at all, or were you confident you had enough in hand?
To be honest, I pitted 1 lap too late, and so I have to lift and coast for the last lap. And so Fab was able to come very close to me when we were in pits. I think we were only 2/10 away from each other.
Stop, yeah, the pit stop you were. It was, I think, 83 thousandths when you actually finished the race.
Yeah, I have to say, luckily this race, everything I planned works well. At first, the start, when I said, okay, I want to go into the slipstream and then come out later, because I see in the first race that works brilliant for one of the drivers who are a bit away from us. I think there was P4 or P3, which comes very fast then. And yeah, at secondly, I do a very low aero setup, because I said if I'm in front of Fab Iceman, he can't pass me in the corners, but I will take away on the straights.
Yeah, that worked out quite well, mate. I don't know what you changed there, but Jesus Christ, even with the slipstream, I was like barely getting any closer to you. That was so frustrating.
Yeah, I was going to ask that actually. What was the sort of feeling like seeing that gap just? It looked like nothing you tried. You just get that little bit close, but just at the very last, I wasn't able to capitalize. And then we saw that mistake by Project PD into turn 10 on the last lap. I can only imagine the amount of frustration. I mean, Project PD must be bathed in sweat by now, but I would imagine you, Iceman, must have. Does that feel like the one that got away, or were you confident you got as much of it out of it as you could?
No. Definitely, I got as much out of it as was possible. What can I say? He was like driving absolutely excellent today. There was no way for me to get any closer to make a move on him. I was just lap by lap. I was sitting behind him, and I thought I said to my guys in the chat, guys, what should I do? My hands are tied. There's nothing I can really do. I can't attack. Nothing. I just can stay behind him as close as I can and wait for something that might happen.
Can't attack, he said, on the inside of the final turn.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff, gentlemen. It was very entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the entertainment and good luck for the rest of the season.
Indeed.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the commentary as well.
For sure.
Absolute pleasure.
Yeah, definitely. With that finish, it was a pleasure.
Yeah, that was incredible.
We ask Fee for next race, then we do it with 3 cars at the same time.
Yeah.
Please, yes.
Yeah.
Please, yes.
I will happily explode if that happens, guys. Yep, absolutely. More of that.
But yeah, thanks, guys.
User was moved out of your channel.
Let's see if we can quickly can get a word from Unstoppable in P3
Unstoppable.
before we end the show.
User was moved to your channel.
There he is. Unstoppable. Are you with us?
Hello.
Well. You got yourself on the rostrum.
Yeah, it's a bit of highs and lows tonight, really. The first race was so promising with that third, and then I don't even want to remember that bit. But then, yeah, second, slightly lucky. Alex not connecting again puts me into third for the start.
Yeah.
And then once you get around those corners, the dirty air is just so strong that it really was the first 2 laps are so tentative. It's like, you know, kind of pretty much sitting on top of the wheel.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, I mean, did you realistically think a podium was possible, or is it more capitalizing on the errors of others?
Well, I would say to other people's credit, is capitalizing on a few people who weren't here tonight as well. But I think I knew I was fast. I had 1:26 dead in time trial practice. Not that I had a time trial up, but I knew I had a pretty decent time, and I was kind of just about hitting the 1:25s. So I knew I had a decent time, but you never know what Project PD and Co are going to whip out at the last moment, and Iceman's qualifying was just insane. But when I was qualifying against above Eladir, I felt, yeah, this is going to be a good evening.
Did you feel under pressure at all? I mean, he sort of always seemed there or thereabouts in that second race. Were you conscious that he was fairly close, or were you just simply sort of thinking hit your marks and let everything else worry about itself?
For the first half of the race, I was so conscious of him being there, but I knew in reality, unless I actually made a genuine mistake, and I don't mean just that turn was a bit bad, unless I genuinely took that a corner really badly, maybe slid off and went into the dirt, that it was going to be just too hard. I think we're fairly evenly paced, and you just can't pass easily with even pace.
I see. Well, it was it's certainly good to see you on the podium, sir.
Very happy to be there. I hope many more of them come my way.
Great stuff. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see a great deal of you because if you watch the race back, see why.
Yep. I can imagine. But since I don't think I've made one passing maneuver this season.
That's the way it goes sometimes. I've heard others say that it's not always the on-track passing, just staying out of trouble that can yield the greatest rewards.
Definitely my strategy.
Very much for your time, Mr. Paul.
Thank you very much.
We look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you.
User was moved out of your channel.
What a finish, Mr. Wayfarer.
Yeah, that was really entertaining, and I mean, I think that's probably the best advertisement we can have for RSR and for the Revolution Cup. I mean, a drag race out of the last turn at Catalunya, that's not
with no
quite
impact
common, but...
Yeah, without any damage or impact as well.
Yeah, but I'm already excited. Next week at Spa, do we see a drag race? 3 people beside each other coming out of the bus stop?
That would be impressive to see 3 people come out of the bus stop side by side. It's so narrow there, but if anyone can do it, these guys certainly can.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, I think it's time for us to end it for tonight.
I think so.
We definitely had great racing. We can only look forward to next week, and yeah, next week, round 5 of the Cup at Spa-Francorchamps. Same time, same place, so see you next time, guys.
See you then.